that I hear now from other people, I it probably wasn't as hyped up as you guys have it. So we didn't have any of these podcasts. Everything used to be in person. So that's that's different.
Okay, that's quite. Actually, we wanted to know about your college journey as we have seen the college from our perspective is actually quite
Hmm.
different from the perspective that you have.
Hmm.
So, the college has not quite advanced, but things have changed a bit.
Hmm.
So, in that way.
So my college journey in JEC used to be more like I used to go to college to the whole thing that other people were doing, but I was also very much interesting in like I didn't feel enough. I didn't feel settled in my journey when I was in my early years of JC. So I would go do a couple of internships from IITs, triple IITs, go on publication conferences to like explore the research and stuff. And doing that, I got a little bit like, you know, um, I encountered machine learning and stuff way before in my second year, I assume. So that it wasn't a thing. Like the only thing I remember, like natural language processing and AI was the first course that I had, and that was in my final year. So we didn't have much, and like at that time, like we didn't used to have a lot of classes because of the placements. People were more into the placement and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that exposure of some advanced skills that are going to be in it. We didn't have robotics. We didn't have advanced courses. So to get that knowledge, you have to like I got a little bit outside and explore other places if I can something would intrigue me. So that was my journey. Like I wasn't very social. I used to do things here and there, but like I wasn't too social as other people. Yeah. Do you guys have anything specific that you want to know about my journey? Adding to it.
Actually, we for the first half, basically, we wanted to know about your basic
Some
knowledge journey, and
thrilling
then
experiences,
yeah,
we want this session to be a kind of informal for our audience to
Mhm.
just they should be enjoying
they
this
should
event. Like, yeah.
relate basically. Like we have some experiences that are we have bunked classes, and we have done a lot of things, and it's like a sort of nostalgic memory when we look at that. So we were asking about that, but
Yeah,
moving
I think
further,
I did that. Mhm.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. Continue.
So I did all the whole bunking class, like getting excited for freshers, farewell, and stuff like that. When I was in my first year, my second year was a little bit of like enjoying the college too. But I think after my second year, I got a little bit, like um, wanting more than just what the college was offering and like just what the peer was doing. So yeah.
Okay, that's
Like,
very nice to hear, sir. Because as we see here, our juniors are quite more. Basically, they are more directed. I would say they are not directionless. The way we were, and the way you explained, you were quite very well directioned because you started so early, like in second year itself. So it's very fascinating for us to know because speaking of myself, I too pursue to study abroad, and I got all things sorted in my third year. I started in the last semester of my second year, but it was, let's just say, more of third year. What's yours, sir?
exactly. We were not that much. What should I say? Well direction and everything. Because there was lack of some sort of guidance and everything. But as we grew, lockdown strike and everything, so we just went to reach out to our alumni and people like you who are well established in their career. So they particularly told us this is the way you should go for, this is the thing you should go for, these are the future aspects and everything. So
Right.
in that particular thing, we moved ahead and ahead. Here we are today.
So, sir, actually, we'll begin with the questionnaire. We have the question from the people. We released a form. and they have filled the questions. And
Okay.
at the end of the session, prior 10 minutes, we'll have the questions from the live audience, and we can
Oh,
interact in between if they ask their questions. These
sounds
guys
good.
will help us through that. Cool.
Cool.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Start, sir.
Uh, so what intrigued you into master like because you were in totally into a MP district like in Madhya Pradesh that was Jabalpur. So like what were the consequences that made you to move forward into the master that too from abroad?
Okay. So there is no probably like a lot, there's a lot of things like I just had a middle class dream of like moving abroad, seeing the life just outside of what I was seeing growing up as a kid. Um, Mixed with I was always like, running into things. I love to like, new learnings, trying to figure out things on my own and stuff like that. Um, like all that combined, like I felt like I do I need more time to, learn more stuff for myself. So I have done the whole like sitting in the college placement, getting placements, up to the point where I had the offer and I was like, I made the decision that I no, I don't want to go. And that's when I decided, okay, so I decided not to go, and what's next for me? So like all these things put in together, I felt like it would be I would want to go to abroad for my education.
That's a total it's a, you're well aware of everything like your dreams and aspirations were totally beyond
So, sir, did you join any coaching as sort of, and did you have mentors along the way to guide you actually? Did something sort
Um,
of happen like that?
I don't remember like a lot of people, like especially peers and stuff, like would wanted to do something like this. Or at least I wasn't as aware about that if they were. But because there were only like like I didn't have anyone to talk to right away, so I had to figure out my stuff. And though I did a lot of mistakes, a lot of stuff came new to me to figure it out. Um, so to answer your questions, like I had supporting people. My family was always supportive if I want to do something. It's just they didn't know. No one knew like what to do. Okay, you want to do this? How do you pursue it? So a lot of it came from trying to figure out stuff.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, to answer your question, I think yes, I had a coaching institute. Like I went to it, but like I don't think that helped me into knowing everything I want to know. It gave me a direction, yes. Sort of like okay, this is kind of stuff you see. So if you, I was very new and I was like, okay, something like this comes up, but I wasn't sure. I like most of it was um practicing and figuring out thing along the way instead of okay this is a magic mantra, you go to this coaching institute and then they'll fix you. Some coaching institutes are like that, but I strongly critique that like personally because most of the universities that they want to send you to are for two reasons. One is they want to create the brand, and second they have tie-ups with some easy universities you can get into and move abroad. uh, but especially like I know like um, after I came here, like things are not as okay. You got into something, you got GRE 290 something, you got a university. I'm not saying having a GRE score is equal to intelligence or smartness. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is there is more. There's very much hard work, and like people should be aware about it. You will see all the glamorous life happening on social media. Okay, once you go to some other country abroad, things will get figured out.
Mm-hmm.
There is no mantra like that. You have to be very much, you know, doing things and working very hard on the way to achieve that lifestyle to go up there.
Okay, sure. That's quite basically, it's like it's not an easy road. You have to
Hmm.
basically make your own path there. It's
Hmm.
not just you have to walk on footsteps of some other people who are already there. Just you have to
Hmm.
make your own path.
You can learn from your
Def-
experience on the go. Like if you interact with seniors, it's always good to know, okay, what's coming, what's coming.
Yes.
But that does not mean that the way they did things would be same as how what will
Yes,
work for
exactly.
you. So you have to figure out your own style, your own way. Everyone is different. So good to know stuff, but you have to do your own. Like you have to have that extra limit of your own.
yes,
Oh,
sir. So the next question is, what are the benefits of pursuing career abroad?
Okay. There's a lot of it. Like, first thing, what people want to see is what they see on social media, the glamorous lifestyle, driving Tesla, making six-figure salary. That would be one benefit I would say. The other thing would be good food. Like you get all kind of cuisines, not just Indian. You
uh-huh.
get like
Yes, sir.
um Korean, Ethiopian, you can like any fancy thing you will see. Probably there's a chance that you'll find it in United States
So
as a
like,
country. I'm not.
as
Mhm.
we are student, like as you were in the student life, right now you're well settled. But as I'm a big foodie for that. But the thing is, like, I've seen people that they just go with the basic stuff they are cooking in their home. So are they a bit costly, or like they are easy to manage?
Yeah, things are definitely costly. If you try to eat outside, India is a place, go street food, you have like 20 rupees in your pocket, you have 50. Depending on your budget, you will find food outside. If you come here, that's not the case. If you get a Subway, that's like $10. So like anything starts like that money. And especially when you're studying in college and you are spending money that is like you earn in rupees and basically you spend it in dollars, it feels a lot. So there's something that you have to get used to. And if you don't know cooking, like learn cooking, so that would help you give you a survival here. You'll save a lot of money if you're not cooking. I wasn't one of them, so don't take
Yes.
me.
So if we are not wrong, like we have seen that there are no chapatis and like traditional roti over there.
Yeah, so even until now, like I started cooking a little bit now, but you get frozen chapatis, but things might not be the same if you're figuring out, oh, I miss my mom's chapatis. It's not going to be the same as here. So there's definitely a disadvantage to it. uh,
That's only what we get from home. Like it's homely feeling. You
yeah,
can't
exactly.
compare it to any other food.
Exactly.
Yes,
And you
yes. So,
cannot be
like,
like if you're living in Bangalore, if you're living somewhere else, you can still fly, come back
Yes.
home over the weekend and enjoy that food.
yes.
Coming abroad, that's not an option. You cannot. Each flight you take is like 30 hours, 40 hours of like one-time travel, and you don't want to do that. And that costs a lot of money too.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So, like, I have seen in my peers that people are just practicing making gold rotis just because they are going abroad.
Yeah, I should have done
Like
that too.
Like,
you won't believe my experience is like I live in a hostel in the front PG basically in Jabalpur only for college. And the quality of food that I have there is, matlab, they don't suffice the basically level of, the food satisfactory. The food is not satisfactory actually. So whenever I come back home and just I have the usual stuff that my mother makes, it's like it's the best thing I ever have.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want this to just be on my menu all the time. I don't want that fancy Subway. I can't eat Subway all the day, all the time, but I just want my dal, roti, sabji, chawal. I just want these things on my plate at that time. This is the least I want. It happens like
Well,
that for me.
if you decide to come abroad, take it's a long way, so you can go back to enjoy that food. What you could do closest is sometimes I'm on call with my mom and she helps me cook, and then I enjoy the taste a little bit. Sometimes it feels like, oh, mom, it tastes like your food, you know? So
Uh,
that's the closest you can do. You have to do your own stuff here.
okay.
So
I
you
have
were
forgotten that then.
fortunate enough to be in that digital era, because like 10 years before, people
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
even have that video quality thing.
that is true.
So, sir, moving on. Next question. We have, how did you choose your course and how did you sort your universities?
Um, so I did the whole thing that people do, like, go to a coaching institute and they're gonna give you a list of university that you would go for. But like I mentioned, like it's not like you could. I think you could. So ASU was not on my list,
Oh,
and then I had like some universities, but I could not imagine myself spending my money and everything in studying those universities.
uh-huh.
So what I did instead was I came up with my list.
Okay.
um, m- I wouldn't say like you should do the way I did because most of my applications were ambitious. Like I was like, I want to aim as high as I can. Like I don't want to be sorry to not have tried to big universities that I could have got admitted. Um, and I still remember this is a time when I didn't know, okay, you have to apply at least a year before if you
Yeah.
want to fly, okay,
Mm.
next year go study. So like I started pretty late. I was like, it was sometime in December. I was like, okay, yeah, now I'm done with my GRE and stuff, and then I have to, apply for universities. And I start looking up, and I see the deadlines are coming up as like 1st of December, 15th of
Yes.
December, January, and I was like, man, like I I missed so much. That there are some universities that I already have missed, you
Okay.
know. So my brother was really helpful. He was like, this is the time like I came back home, so no,
Right.
like I wasn't in the coaching institute that I used to be and stuff like that. So I didn't have anybody to write my SOP. I didn't have anything. But I still remember my brother was like, submit the application. If you submit it empty, I don't care. Like if you want to go, submit it, and we'll see. So I had like that was my worst draft of SOP I've ever written. That they
Okay.
but I got picked up. So I think what matters was what was on it instead of like what the language of the SOP is.
Yes.
So yeah, don't miss it.
Okay.
If you
So,
think like you
as
should be
you,
applying for Harvard, apply for Harvard. Don't have regrets.
okay. So, as you mentioned SOP, so I'm going to continue another question on that as we had that on this.
Mhm.
So, what are the like key points? Like while you write your SOP. So, what are like
Okay.
the points that sets you apart from the crowd? Because the officer is reading like plethora of applications.
Yeah.
What points should be included in your SOP to make it stand out?
Okay. So like I I would start with like why what is the point of the whole SOP thing?
Uh huh.
One sec.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Sure.
So, like how you apply for job applications, right? Like you give your resume and then they interview you and see if you are a fit for the job or not. The SOP on the other side, when you do university applications, you don't have interviews. So, what is the thing that tells about you that makes sure that you have the right fit for the university? And if they give you an offer, if they give you an admit, you would be able to succeed because they don't want people to fail in the exam or like it depends on the university. So if you go high up in the
Uh huh.
university, the thing that separates is not just the education, but it's also because like the difficulty level goes up the higher you go in the ranking of the university. So not everybody who is into a different university can you know I would say succeed academically at a better university per se. So
Okay.
those are the things they want to see that, okay, if we do give you an admit, can we figure out just reading your essay because they don't do interviews. They have way more applications. They cannot keep doing interviews.
Yeah.
They figure out if you are the best fit for the university or not, because in job they can fire you, get someone else, but in universities your name being the alumni of a university is the reputation, you
Yeah.
know, and
True.
they don't want failed candidates.
So, did you face any sort of thing like I have seen that for Ivy Leagues also, they are all like a tier one are preferred, tier two are preferred. Like as we like went down, so like that was the case or not at your particular time?
I'm not sure if I got your question. Can you repeat that one more time?
So it's like I've seen that in prestigious colleges, like they are
Mhm.
always like for example MIT, it's always like
Mhm.
they are preferring tier one colleges and tier two colleges. So
Okay, okay,
is that a yeah like can
okay, I
we
got
a
it.
JEC student move into?
I think yeah, you can. So one of the things is because they only have a little bit to see if you could succeed in the academically in the university or not. So if you don't have no experience in the industry, if you don't have any research papers, no recognition whatsoever, the only thing that they can test you on is your university. Okay, if they are aware, they see applications and they know what kind of admits they get and what their undergrad is from. So if that's the scenario, um, they saw your GRE. Okay, they have a plenty of people with the same GRE from better universities, and if they don't have anything else to see in the university, that's what they're going to see on. They'll be like, okay, yeah, this guy is from IIT. It gives a little bit of edge, but I wouldn't say that's not the case. That someone from JC cannot go to Harvard or MIT to study. You can. Even like if you have a 270 GRE, that does not matter. But the thing is, they want to see you have to be recognized. You have to have your profile in a way. It's all about the profile. It's all about the candidate. It's not a thing that okay, you get a 313 GRE, you'll get in Harvard, or 314 GRE, you'll get in Harvard. It's more than that. It's about you overall, I would say.
Okay, so it's like how you represent, how your CV basically represents you
Mhm.
in every
Um,
sort of thing.
not just CVs, like because like they also see your LORs, letter of
Yeah,
recommendations.
yeah.
So they basically see, okay, the people that you have worked with, like you said your side in the essay, they also want to see what the other side is, like the people who you
Yes.
have worked with, they want to see what they have to say about you. And most of the times, this is confidential. So if you will see genuine LORs, if you ask from people, you would not know what your someone that you're getting your LOR from has sent to that university. It is usually they get an email and they upload that stuff on it. So it is not necessary that you know what is going on to them. So there's another thing to basically see.
Okay.
So moving on to the next question, sir.
Mhm.
Like which universities did you apply to? Like what were the particular list of your universities which you went for?
So like I said, like my if I put a number, 40% of my universities were ambitious, 40% were challenging, and only 20% was safe. The reason I did that was again because the list I got was like mostly like easy, the ones I can get, and I just wanted to try more than that. So I started with a lot of UCs. I think I applied to at least four UCs: UCI, UC Riverside, all of them, um, Santa Cruz, all that stuff, and I got rejected from all of them. In my challenging list, it was Stony Brook, ASU. There was, let me see if I can remember. Um, what are the things I had? I had University of Florida, Gainesville. There was one. So I had some prestigious universities, but like I wouldn't have like MIT, Harvard, and all that stuff on the list because I was being realistic. Like if I had like huge renowned person in the industry, it would have been a different case. But because I had a research background, that gave me a little bit of the edge of like they have my international publications and stuff to like judge me on. Um, my safe list was um, I did UTD, University of Texas, Dallas. I had CSUs, California State Universities. And then I had University of Southern Carolina. And the reason I picked this last university was because they provide scholarships. So
Okay.
just in case, if I, like I said, like I'm not a rich guy, like I don't come from a rich family. So like I wanted to have an option. Okay, yeah, if nothing works out and I still want to go, I should have that option. So I had that university on my list. It's not a renowned university, but it's something. And one thing I would tell people is it does not matter. Even that you're from Harvard, it does not guarantee a job. That cannot guarantee a job in the United States. Or if you're from a very bad university that has no reputation, you can still get into FANG. You can still go into Netflix, Facebook, whatever you can imagine. It's not the brand. It's not like India.
Okay.
Okay. And the second thing that would be there is no thing called college placements here in none of the university.
Okay.
So no companies like you have career fair, but basically the whole idea is you go show interest, to the companies. You go reach them out, apply in the get in the pool of the applications that they get, and then if they like you, they're gonna come talk to you. So this is how it works. In India, it's more like okay, everyone has an equal chance to
Yes.
write their written test and go into the interview and crack it. That gives you a little bit of disadvantage and an advantage. Advantage would be that you will at least have a job when you graduate in India from a university. Second is that is only controlled by the university. So if you don't get Amazon, if you don't get Microsoft, if you don't get Facebook, Netflix in your campus, that limits you. That those are the only companies you have exposure from, and that's when it comes you are from IIT or if you're from something some big universities. Um, so both advantage and disadvantages of things, but like you have to be very proactive if you come here because you have to find your own job. Like I, I didn't imagine as like me not having so much of industry experience that I would end up into a Fortune 50 company. So that's the thing. Like you can, and like even someone who's not from a good university can do it. It's just you have to have those skills and you have to be proactive. Like you have to be so much of oh, what's next, okay, how do you figure out stuff. And especially when you are an immigrant, you have not only just do that, there's a lot of other stuff that you have to do. You have to make sure, okay, yeah, my visa will expire in 2 years. So you have to start thinking today, okay, what's going to happen if my visa expires? I need to find a sponsor to, so I cannot go to these companies even though I could, so like there's a lot of things that you have to be always on your toes. Okay, what's next? What if this fails? What if that fail? And all that stuff. It's not a guaranteed path of like, okay, you will get a placement from your university. So that's one thing that people should know.
It's like you have to remain cautious of everything. You have to watch every step. If you take this, then what will be the consequences of that? It's like you
Yeah.
have to be very well versed with everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
And one
have to
more
know all the
thing.
stuff. Immigration is also a complicated subject, like, and like you should know a lot of stuff. You have to educate yourself with everything to make sure that you are legal to be here. You are doing legal things while you are here. Different cultures, you have to, do so much of like be present to make sure that you keep yourself where you want to see yourself, you know, basically on track.
Okay, so
So like one more thing was like, okay, just uh, how did you like choose your course? Like because you were into computer science, and after that,
narrowed your stream to NLP, AI, or ML.
Yeah, so like that comes basically from my internship experiences that I've had. There was a point in time when I was in Triple ID Hyderabad for my internship. I was, like doing my summer NLP classes. I've never read about it, but like I got to like have that exposure. Once I got good at it, I was helping other people, teaching them like people who are coming after and stuff like that. So like, and then even after I was graduated, I was working in the university. Like my major was on that. So like whatever work I did in my summer, I tried to continue that in my minor project and major projects. and I did a publication with on college. So while I was in college, I was like, okay, yeah, I put people in like Maturity and stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's put this work to business, basically. So basically, yeah, that stuff. If that answer your questions, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll actually make it back to the GRE section.
Mhm.
I would like to know that how did you scored well on your verbal section? How the people who are preparing for GRE, how will you just guide you about them for verbal, specifically about verbal,
Yeah.
because quant section, speaking of myself and us of others, they are quite not, I would say, of mediocre level. They're not that
Mhm.
hard. They are just mediocre level. But talking about verbal, as we don't have that much of the not fluency, but the way of speaking, we don't have that much, so we are not exposed to that. So what will you advise to your fellow juniors on verbal?
That's a good question. That's a good question because people have usually like Indians have an edge of mathematics. We are good in math.
Yes.
So that's usually like when it comes to GRE, we find it a little bit easier than other people writing GRE in different countries. What comes at it is like verbal. Okay, when it comes to verbal, we are not as good because of our whole like all that we have exposure from English is like, oh, either movies or like songs or stuff like that. Um, so because it's not our first language, so I would say like counter that because other countries have that much better than us. Like someone from Australia, someone from England, like whoever's Canada, they are writing the GRE. They have the edge over the verbal. Um, so I would say work on your comprehension. A lot of people get stuck in vocab and you can only do enough with vocab. Like if you know all the things in the world and you write your GRE, that does not guarantee that you will got all the answers right because you didn't work on the comprehension. You could not read under the lines what the essay was trying to tell you, what your question was trying to tell you. And I used to take a lot of time. I wasn't as good, so probably I'm not the best person to give you advice on verbal. But of whatever I have discovered, I got better at it. Is I did a lot of comprehension practice. Whenever I see a vocab word, I forget about it and try to see if I can still guess what they're trying to say. So if I get that vocab does not matter. It doesn't matter. In some cases, when you have like I don't know what they used to call it, but it's a filling the blank and you have to fill the word and stuff like that. That sometimes goes around knowing a little bit of vocab because now you cannot skip the word and just to comprehend the meaning because you have to pick from those words.
Yes, exactly.
So those things are encountered a little bit with gradually while you work on your comprehension, um, work on the essential words because you cannot have enough. So I would say, for example, you see a fill in the blank, something like that. I think they call it text completion. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you
Text.
see if
Yes,
you
sir.
see a if you see a text completion sentence and you see an option says all the vocab words that
Yes.
like and you only knew half of them, there are chances that the answer would be from half of those, and the reason being is they know that you cannot know all the vocab words. They only put it there to psychologically trap you. Uh, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I think the answer should be somewhere somewhat this one, but because I don't know the other two or three options, I'm a little bit skeptical, and you would freak out, you would panic, and that's what like they trick you on. Even math, they try to trick you on things that are obvious. They would put it out there, and when you give a second thought, you'll be like, oh, I see what they're talking about. So like I would say like just work on your comprehension more than just the vocab.
Yes, sir. One thing, Asta, like I realize, like we have seen so many webinars and everything about GRE and this stuff,
Yeah,
but sir told us a very specific thing that there are no placement that drive in that
It's
any
actually
college.
that is actually quite a just very lightning point that we never knew about.
Exactly.
For me, I was like there are placements, not direct placement, but I also had that one question that the international students do not have an edge over there. Is it something like that?
Yeah, yeah. So let me tell you this.
Uh,
This is the first thing you heard, and there are a lot of similar things like this you do not know. And when you come here, you will realize, oh, I wish I knew all that stuff to be,
mhm.
like knowing what to do. Because sometimes you'll end up in situations like literally you would not know what to do, what my next step is.
Uh-huh.
So having all those things, that's why like I've been thinking of putting on a YouTube channel to talk about just like the life in USA and
Mm.
like things that you would wanna know before you come here or even after you come here. These things are gonna like give you help you and all those stuff because
Exposure,
what
basically.
like, yeah, having the exposure and having the right knowledge so you act smarter in the future because like whatever I have seen on like internet, I see people talking about GRE hacking this hacking that, but
Mhm.
no one gives you like people think like okay, once you give your GRE it's done, okay, once you apply for university it's done. The real struggle comes when you come here, and a lot of stuff you don't know and people don't talk about it because they are themselves busy in figuring out their
More
years
like.
in uh, yeah, exactly. Their life, their years in college, so they don't have enough time to talk about them. And like even in general, because you are an immigrant and like you always have that edge that you have to be better at your job because they could always find a replacement who is someone from here and they would have less trouble with any of this. So you always have to be like, no, I have to give 100% on this. I have to, be better than everybody else at what I'm doing to have that edge of like, why would they pick you than all the other Americans out here? So there are a lot of things I promise you that you don't know. And that's why like I think you guys will find a link of my YouTube channel, and that's what I'm trying to start at like giving people, you know, stuff to like think about, like basically like a lot of things that they don't know about. Maybe they could. This would help them to know a little bit better and of what they know.
Okay.
Oh
Actually,
yeah, and to answer
yes,
your
sir.
question, yes, there is always a thing about an American applying for a job and an international person applying for a job. Number one thing I would be like startups. You wouldn't find most of the startups hiring international people because they don't know how to do the paperwork of the immigration stuff. So people hit for bigger companies because bigger companies have that dedicated law firm that makes sure that can um, that will they'll figure it out for you. They have that control, and sometimes just in general, like it's not a thing, but like um, they have the strong support to support you legally when it comes to immigration. But think about it, like if you have a similar qualified person who is American and who is international, a lot of like as an immigrant, when you apply to 1,000 jobs, the jobs that you hear back from are far less than someone who is American. Straight up, like there has been instances on anybody that has ever applied for jobs here in US. You will hear this experience where they would call you and indirectly try to ask you if you need a visa sponsorship to continue this. And when they say that, they are gone. Whatever they say, they ghost you. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll get in touch on Monday or something, and they're gone. They will never get back to you. So that's why I said like you have to be really good at what you're doing to have that edge of like, okay, yeah, like no other American can do this job that this guy can do, and that's why they want to put all their money, legal money, and everything in you to keep you there.
Okay. So it's like you have to
Mhm,
be quietly very aware of the red flags that might
mhm.
be there.
Right, right. So like we like always be ready for disappointments. If you see not hearing it from companies, don't be disappointed. That's a case. So keep going, like keep working forward. Something will work out for you if you put your enough efforts into it.
Also, sir, like we would like love to see photos, some of your photos, if you have any, like of your college life or your JEC or like in ASU, like. That would be
I'm
much.
not much of a I'm not much of a photo person myself. Like I like to be behind the camera, like I'm getting into whole filmmaking and stuff like that. But like I'm the person
Yes,
behind the stuff. So far, okay. So
Yes,
I
I was
have been
about
active
to
in
add. It will be
events.
great to see you on screen in front of
exactly,
the
sir.
camera
Like
and you're that guy
you
who
can
starts at back.
share this screen if you want. Like if you have any stuff right now in the PC,
I don't know,
that will be
but
a
I can
throwback
add.
to.
Maybe I can add something. Alex, do you have that picture from the brochure over there? Yeah, yes, yeah. Can you read it? I can figure out something if I have it here. So I was in the international events and they have me. So ASU has me as the international face. So everyone who gets an admit from ASU get this brochure of welcome, and that has a picture of me in it. So yeah, I have been into events and stuff, doing
Yes,
stuff,
yes.
but like me personally, I'm always behind the camera most of the times.
And so like we
So
have seen like
this is usually what you get, and this is me. I don't know if you guys can figure me out.
Okay.
that's great.
So if that helps. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
And so
So the
like
last question is just what I just want you to lay a layout for the complete journey, just the outlines for students who will be going abroad, just from the scratch to
Like
the complete.
complete journey to come here to US or complete journey of life. That's the two
Like,
different things.
actually, you both. I would say I would love to know both, so you can just tell us about that.
Well, for GRE, it's like you have to write your GRE exam. You have to have your English exam, TOEFL, or something like that. They have other ones too. Write the SOP, get the LORs, apply to university, get an admit, come here. Um, Very much try to read your curriculum so you know you're on the point. If there are any requirements that you need to do to complete your degree, you have to do that. You have to think about funding. Okay, once I get the admit, okay, what's the next step? Where's the money gonna come from? Where's the stuff, like, how much time do I have and stuff like that. Um, you have to keep thinking along the go on that. When you fly here, you have to make sure about some travel restrictions, like you don't want to carry any seeds, any life, something, no liquid, stuff like that. Basically, anything that's going to put you in trouble. If there is anything, something that you are bringing, you should, like, you shouldn't be, you have to declare that in custom, stuff like that. Once you get here, how you going to get to the university, how you going to get a phone card, SIM phone card, how you gonna find a place to live, um, and what your schedule is gonna look like, how you're gonna go to your classroom every day and come back, and yeah, like while you're doing that, you have to figure out about the internship, you have to figure out about the full-time job, you have to figure out about your immigration stuff. One sec. There's gonna be a lot of talking basically, but you have a once you graduate, you get a job. Um, you keep working on your job, get better at what you're doing. One thing that I would say is like the work culture is better than what there is in India. I'm not talking like I'm only talking general. I'm not getting into like, okay, yeah, I'm saying it for 100%. I'm just like generally speaking that like you will have more value for your skill, more respect for your skills or when you come here. Like I work on the artificial intelligence team for State Farm. So like growing in that, having promotions, stuff like that. If you keep working, you will generally have a better experience of working than you might have it in India. I don't have a lot of industrial experience again, but I'm generally speaking of what I've heard from people. Okay, so yeah.
And what's your life mantra? What do you believe in?
Nothing. Just if you want to do something, just do it. Like life is too short, but also make sure that you have you have thought through other stuff too. Just in case if it doesn't. Like basically, if you have like thought it through, you do whatever you think is best. Like don't. don't get into. It's not like if some person cannot do it or it's too difficult, you cannot do it. That's how people get better. Like, do it. It doesn't matter.
By taking action. That's it. If you have to move
Yeah,
forward, you
like.
have to take action.
Mhm. You need to know your progress. Like you should know, okay, yeah, if I've decided to do this, this is how I'm seeing myself in a, couple of weeks or couple of months, couple of years. A little bit of having a rough idea at least what to do next, because if you don't know what to do next is when you're stagnant, you don't move forward. um mm, yeah.
So
I'm
did you
not a
procrastinate on your journey?
huh.
Did you procrastinate on your journey till here?
Yeah, I have done that. Like I said, like I didn't know what to do, honestly. There were points in my time where honestly I didn't know what to do. And that's what gave me the importance of being proactive and getting things done. Like, I always go, like, if I want something, I'll get desperate of like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. And trying to, like things work out like in the end, like you'll always have your life worked out, uh, you know, um, in the end, like even if like you are not, you don't have, like everybody has different journey, but like you have luck, you have your hard work, you have your interest and being good at something. Everybody is different. Like two people put them together, they have different skill sets. Like
Exactly.
even if they don't know it, you figure it out in the life that okay, this is what interests you. And like sometimes there are chance times where just being in the undergrad, you don't know why you are here, because this was the best thing you thought, and you are here. And now you figure out, okay, I don't want to do engineering anymore. If I want to do something else, so like you basically like want to figure it out. You will figure out at some point of time, okay, this is what I'm interested towards, and this is what I want to do and how I want to do. So things will work out always.
Okay, that's very nice to know because I do
Exactly, sir.
procrastinate a lot. Actually, we have a group of we have a group of a lot of guys. We are in a pre-final year, so
Exactly.
Mhm.
there was a time when we were proactive, literally proactive. We did multiple internships, we did multiple courses, but there was a time when we were like all just too lazy to even get up and get on our computers and just even type a code. And then that place literally haunts us till now. If we ever find us doing
Yeah,
again, like we procrastination, it basically happens when we are not progressing. We are not getting our results. So we're like, we
yeah,
just stop there, and it just gets frustrating at level one, then it's level two, then it's level three. Like, just keep it up.
yeah. I mean, but one thing to learn always is when you hit your low, you know where you don't want to be, and you will do everything to not get there. So you try different things in life and you realize, okay, this is not for me, and then you move on. It's the same thing. Like there would be times when you'll hit a low, you don't know what to do, you don't know why you have to wake up tomorrow and go to work or like open your computer and try to do something productive. But after a few days you have that frustration build up, and that you would want to be like, oh yeah, I know that I don't want to do this, I don't know what else to do, but I don't want to do this, so I'll figure out something else to do. So it's like basically trial and error.
That was a very nice takeaway, I would
Exactly, sir.
say. That was the key takeaway from the thing you said. I would actually apply that because I procrastinate a lot. I just keep that in my mind that I don't
I
want
do
to
that
do
too.
that. So I
Even
do this other thing.
even
I
as
do
I
that
think
too. I
it's,
don't have my I don't
sir,
have my laundry figured out sometimes, a lot of times.
sir was at that time like when Oriole was organized in 2016, right? Sir?
Yes, yes, it was
um,
2016
So,
Cultural
so
Fest.
yes, sir. So you were a part of that or not?
what's
You,
that?
sir, Oriole, the cultural fest of a college.
Oh, I think yeah, I know. Is it the music festival or something like that?
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah, it
exactly.
Yeah,
started.
I I think it just got started and they started bringing people.
Yes,
It's
sir.
just like I don't think I have the chance to go into it. But I've heard it's good stuff. So yeah,
Yes,
someday
sir.
when I'll come back, you guys can take me there.
Definitely, sir.
That would be nice.
So actually, previous year we were trying to organize that a next edition of that only, but then
Mhm.
Corona struck, so we have to cancel all our
Yes, sir.
sponsors and give. Everything was just
Oh,
shattered. We were
So
very
what did?
even
pumped up that we'll do.
we invited very prominent people over in that particular site. Like Asta, who was that guest of that?
We had invited for there was a session of poetry. For that, we had
Yeah,
invited Rahat Indori sir.
Mahat and those. Exactly.
And
Oh, okay. He's from
yeah,
Indore. That's where I'm from. So good
Yes.
stuff.
And that
Let
musician was also like a singer,
Gajendra Yadav, one of
Gajendra
whatever
Yadav.
it is.
okay.
Yes,
You
yes.
guys got money, huh?
So we took around like
I see.
2 to 2.5 lakh from the local market itself. We were heading
Okay.
the sponsorship department at that particular time.
Okay.
We were
Next
in the
time my
third semester.
We were
next time
really
my
pumped
sessions
up,
are
sir.
gonna be.
And as soon as we just knew that the event couldn't happen, we were in so much agony that why we put all these efforts, and that's the result we get.
It's good. Your money can go somewhere else. So like next time our sessions are not free.
Also,
Just
sir,
kidding.
before this getting into the live Q&A session, I just want a quite a few feedback regarding society like JLUG, JC. We have been interacting
Uh-huh.
since
Uh-huh.
that particular time. So, like, what should we add on our society, and what's the things you like amongst us? Like,
Your advice.
I don't know, honestly. I haven't been closely connected, so I don't think I have anything
Okay,
to
we'll
add
ask
to
this
it. But
question
someday.
in next episode. When,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
when you'll
that
be back, we'll be in touch with you till then. So we'll ask
Okay.
this question in our next episode with you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, when Sir will start his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
yeah,
you, by
exactly.
then you'll be having your channel also.
Nikhil, why don't you just switch on your camera, sir? He is our batchmate from the same branch. So,
He's
like,
still pursuing.
yes,
Good morning, sir.
this too much enthusiast into masters. Like he only pulled us to like just get into masters. Like we
Yes,
should go abroad. We should. He's much more into research. He has got every kind of knowledge, like for the GRE, for the everything,
he
like that.
guided us in a way. He filled us
Exactly,
with
sir.
so much of enthusiasm. Like he even sent us different universities videos, like the university tour videos. That this is the library, this is the cafeteria, and like whenever you feel demotivated, look at this. So he is that guy who just pulled us through whenever we
Even
were like low on our confidence, like we don't know where to go. And this guy was like, "You can do that. You can do this." So he's that kind of
like
person.
you won't believe, like I was a big foodie, like I'm telling you, like year or so year ago thing. Like he was like he just sent me cafeterias videos of those prestigious university,
Hmm.
like for
Hmm.
University of Pennsylvania and every Wharton and everyone. So he told me like this is the life of there. We'll be eating this, we'll be eating that. And after, just after we started preparing for that, he told me like, bro, that's a very costly thing to go for. We'll be just
Yeah.
cooking our own food. So I was like,
Yeah.
why did we even start it for that particular thing?
Yeah. So we have those we don't call it cafeteria. We call it like what do you call it? Those places where you get food on campus, right? Like the food courts. Not the food
Yes,
courts,
sir.
but like it's like something like that. But like I huh? Yeah, dining halls. So like
Yeah,
they call it
Yeah.
dining halls here, but you have those dining halls, but food is expensive there. So
yes,
in
Yes,
the
sir.
end, you will end up cooking. And when you see bacon for breakfast and all that stuff that you don't want to eat, if you like, mostly you'll prefer to eat home. Like I have been there a couple of times when you some there would be times that you won't have time to make food, and
Uh,
that's where these all the places you will explore. You go to explore all that stuff. But
oh,
yeah.
yeah. I only showed him because he will only get motivated from the food, not anything else.
Even sir, he motivated one of my batchmates like Surya. Surya, can you hear us? Like you can switch on your camera. Like he was also going into the path for sir, like gate examination.
gate.
So yeah, he pulled him from gate and diverted him
Yeah,
into that GRE stuff.
actually, my initial response was only GRE. Like But then the this lockdown happened, and I was like, I had so much free time, and I had to improve my academics. So I went on and gave my like gate in my pre-final.
So we are
Well,
like a
that's
bunch of guys who wish to do masters from abroad, and we are facing our downs and ups and ups and downs, and this guy keeps pulling us together.
Exactly.
That's what
I
we're
said
trying to
that.
And I share the same dream. Like I want to do my masters in robotics, like sir did in artificial intelligence.
I said
it's
even
good to
you were.
know that you guys. Mhm.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Go on. I'm just saying it's good you guys you have good friends, you're helping each other,
Yeah.
do showing paths. It's awesome. It's awesome to see you guys together.
Yes, sir.
do.
And
Yes.
sir, even there's uh, what one is? So I just forget. Like it was just for instance, I was telling something about Surya actually. Ah, sir, this is the guy who's handling all that media part. You can just, sir, I'll just tell him to that all the live stuff and everything. He's only handling everything
Yes,
right now.
yes,
The guy
okay.
you were asking for, he's the only guy.
Hmm. Okay, so he's
Yes,
gonna write my checks next time.
exactly.
Nice to
Uh,
meet you, Suranj.
nice to meet you, sir. Like
Cool.
I too share the same dream like Nikhil, but instead of just robotics, I want to do in like I want to dive in the coding part of that, like the robotic
Okay.
systems. Okay.
Sir,
I like
Yeah.
let me interrupt you in between. Let me interrupt in between. Like, Suryash was also in the robotics part, but Nikhil persuaded him to to just don't go in the robotics part. Otherwise, we'll just having another competition in between it. So he just tell him
Yeah,
ki,
it's
like you go for
difficult.
another thing.
It's a difficult for matlab, same profile to get into the same university. Na? That's why I said ki apply for a different role.
and I
Yeah.
was into coding. Like I like
Yeah.
coding. I like competitive coding. So I was like, okay, let me take this for the team, and I'll go into robotic systems.
Yeah, it's good to see the practical implementations of things that you're doing. Like, I think I took a course. My
Okay.
artificial intelligence class used to have ROS, like a robot operating system, and they have their own bot. They have a name for it, but basically you can program either virtually on the simulators, or you can, order the bot, which is expensive, by the way, and do your own programming and stuff. I was never good at it, so I don't have a lot of robotics experience myself.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay, so
So shall we start with the Q&A session?
okay.
Mhm.
Live Q&A.
Sure.
Uh,
So Suryash, are you reading the questionnaire?
yes, I am reading the question.
Oh, fine.
Okay. Okay. The first question is from Lavish Gupta. If someone is planning to study in a European country or where the first language is in English, is it necessary to have an intermediate level of that country's language?
I would say yes, because when you're hungry and you wanna get food, and you try to interact with someone at the restaurants, they might not get you because they don't speak English. So to have those survival skills, like you will get around. Like if you have friends from there, which usually
The
like
first
doesn't
question is
happen,
from
people
Lavish
usually try
Gupta.
to.
If someone is planning, okay.
Oh, what was that?
So that live stream is going on. So that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I would say yes, to have the survival skill, at least like you're trying to get home in the subway station, train station, and then you get lost, you don't know what to do, your phone's dead. Like you need to have those at least a little bit of to be like, oh, which way is home? Like I want to go home, or book a like take a local taxi. You cannot book a cab because your phone is dead. Take a local taxi, and the guy doesn't know what you're talking about, so you should be able to at least like interact, um, to have. It's just really required for things. That's one of the reasons like why I thought about doing my master's in Germany, because it's free and stuff like that. Um, but I ended up coming here because I was more comfortable with English. But I've seen people doing that too. So like you can, Germany is a good option. Like it has its own pros and cons. Once you like when you are a student there, you don't pay any taxes. You get like free education because somebody who is working is paying taxes and which is paying for your education. But in the end, like when you start working, your 50% of your salary is gone because it all goes into taxes to, for someone else to study for free. So there are pros and cons and on stuff um, that like you should be aware about. Not just like, okay, I get there, but you have to figure out what you're gonna do when after you get there. You need to talk to people who are already there and ask them what kind of challenges they face and how they figure it out. So I would say be prepared. If you're prepared, you can go anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter, and you'll always find Indian people everywhere.
Even Sir Asta is also parallelly preparing for Germany. Like he has his aunt. Like you can ask some particular question, Asta, like, if you really wanna know anything about that.
Actually, sir, I'm from mechanical engineering background. I'll be going there. I wish
That
to
makes
pursue
sense.
in automotive sector. That's the sector I
Okay.
wish to go there, and
Uh,
most that only.
mhm. Go on. Do you have something to add?
Sorry?
Okay, so I was saying go on. Do you have something else to add to it?
No, 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 that's all.
Okay, okay. So I've seen a lot of people because it's mechanical engineering. Automobile is really awesome in Germany, and I think you'll find BMW and all the headquarters and stuff there. So it's good stuff. But like I think one thing you should be aware is, and um, um, which would be like they have theory. So like there are two kind of like courses. You have thesis programs and you have non-thesis program.
Yes, sir.
So if you come to US, you'll find more non-thesis and STEM courses, engineering courses. But I think Germany has more of like thesis advanced. And the thing with thesis is whoever you decide to write with, you have to find an advisor. And sometimes the relationship with the advisor and the student does not work, or it could work really great and the person is with you forever. Okay, so your thesis could be delayed. I have people who have graduated. I have people who are still stuck with their thesis. So that's one thing to think about. No.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Shantanu, you can proceed with the next one.
The next question.
Morning, sir. This side Shantanu Saxena, second year computer science student. So, what I want to ask is that how Indians are treated there? Is there any kind of discrimination or such things? Are they friendly
Um,
towards us? Or
yeah, I don't think so directly things happen. You might encounter some bad situations sometimes, and that's where the thing comes that you need to know because the culture is different. So you need to know, okay, what's the like if you find something is not right, you should like know about the way they say things. You should know, okay, what are they talking about, because culturally they're going to talk different and you might not pick up in the first go, especially when you are new. So I don't think to answer your question directly there is any kind of discrimination. But when it comes to immigration in general, okay, so for example, um, Americans here have like they can carry guns. Like guns is a very common thing. But as an immigration, I don't think you can directly just go to a gun shop and buy guns. So like there are differences, but I would say not direct differences. If you go and talk to some American, it's not gonna feel like they're gonna treat you with respect and everything, unless it's like people are bad, people are good. It's everywhere. So if you get around with something like that, just like have your survival skills on and just get out of there. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Exactly.
Yeah, but none of these things like I would say is like you should like stop you. I would say like learn about the neighborhood and stuff and what time you should be out, what time you should be in, but don't get scared, okay, because these things happen. I'm not gonna do it. um just be aware for your smarter, like better good, I would say.
Okay.
So my question, sir, what is good, sir? Thesis program or not thesis program?
Depends on what you want to do. Like if you want to do your PhD, if you want to be a professor, if you want to go into R&D, research and development, if you want to write patents, I would say go into thesis, because thesis give you the directions of documenting your research and stuff. And if you just come here to get a job, why do you want to do thesis? Just do non-thesis, make a project, and get out of it. You know. So it totally depends on what your ambitions are and where you're trying to go.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, my next question is this: is it possible to close a loan if we secure an assistantship in the university we are applied for?
I would not suggest closing the loan because when you secure an assistantship, um, it might not extend to another semester. And then getting a loan afterwards could not be as easy, as you think. So I would say keep it there, like if you have money, pay it off, but do not close it because you never know when you want money. You never know if it happens that you're out of money for some reason, or like just have it. You need money to survive here until you graduate and be on your own, make your own money, and then you can do your own thing. But I would say have it open and don't close it, until you graduate.
Thank you, sir.
And so, like, I just want to extend this question. Mostly, people are like they got like I'll go into any IB or any top 20 college. There I'll be applying for assistantship or any thing like that. So, is that even easy for to go for like? Is that easy to just get that assistantship or any kind of internship in the university?
To answer your question, I don't think it's easy. Let me tell you this. Okay, so assistantship is usually not like giving you out free money. You work for professor. You work 20 hours on campus for a professor, for RA, or like something like that. But you have to work for it, and they waive your tuition off, and they give you stipend and stuff like that. I did that for a little bit. But then I wanted to concentrate on my semester, so like it was eating too much of my time. But basically, it is not easy, especially when you go higher in the ranking, because your peers will be equally smart. So to have that opportunity, limited seat opportunity of when a professor needs someone to be a coder for them, for example, and he interviews and find you good and be like, okay, yeah, I'll give you money from my funding. You have the RA, you don't have to worry about tuition and stuff like that. You don't know how long it's gonna be there for, so be prepared for worse. And if you get it, get like it's very good. But if you don't get it, like if you for sure wants to, a lot of people will ask like, okay, yeah, I don't have that kind of money. Should I go abroad? To answer that question, like I would say like go for PhDs. Most of the PhDs, 90%, 95% that I know of here in the United States are free. But also, let me tell you this: PhD is far more difficult than masters. People would not tell you that. You do what you have to do, a master person does, but you also have to work on campus because you get assistantship. So you'll get a TA or RA. So TA, you have to be like going to like help the professor, or maybe sometimes you have to take their own classes. So whatever you're doing as a master student, doing your classes, on top of it, you also have to do a responsible job of TAs and RAs. And on top of that, you have to still volunteer with your professor who you're going to write your thesis with. So you have three jobs to do, and as masters, you do one. So sometimes it's not for everybody's cup of tea. So be aware about that. That you can, if you are really good, if you can, you think you want us to do it, like do it. Why not? It's free, but for ASU, I'll say there are some universities, and I'll say like most of the universities here, not always have the funding for you. So my old roommates used to be all PhDs. So one of them had to pay their semester fee because of COVID. The university did not have funding, so they had to pay their fee. They didn't have anything to offer to them. Classes were less. International people were not coming, so the TAs that they need to run the university, seats are less. So like things like that happen. So yeah, you have to work hard for PhDs. So bottom line, and you can get free education.
Okay.
That was like things which mostly other people don't cover.
An eye opener.
Seriously,
Very
yes,
good.
Mhm.
because people think like they'll go for PhDs and they'll be getting like free education. But as you'd mentioned, that PhD is not that. easy to go for it.
Nothing comes free. Scholarships are not free. You have to work hard for them. It's nothing is free. Just they need you for some reason, and you're there. You're serving that purpose, and they are compensating you for it. But that compensating thing is good. Like it won't happen most of the times that if a professor hires you for doing something, he's definitely gonna pay you money. Like then they won't be like, okay, yeah, sometimes it happens in India. It's usually the culture. They'll have the stuff done and something like that, but that thing is valued here. So you will get compensated.
Anything, Nikhil, you want to add? Like you got some assistantship and questions regarding that.
No, 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 I'm good. He explained everything.
Yeah, that's why I raised that question. Because like we were into that thing before, like 10 or 15 days ago.
Okay, that's good.
So yes, can we move forward with the question?
Yes. Uh, uh, how much money is required to study abroad, and did you take up a loan?
Yeah, I did take up a loan. Yes. But again, you can find options like I applied to South Carolina, although I didn't get it, but like if I would have got it, I would have got full scholarship with it. So depends on the scenario. Like if you go to a Harvard, Harvard is not cheap, okay? Unless you get a scholarship, you're lucky you get a scholarship. Um, so to answer your question, it depends on what university you're going. Sometimes you have to filter the university. Even when I was applying for undergrad colleges in India, I was like, okay, yeah, BIT, BITS is expensive. This is what like, are good. So you have to do that thing. The money totally depends on how much you decide to spend. So some people would get their admits in Harvard, and they know it's like almost like 80 lakhs, 1 crore that they have to pay for big universities if you don't have a scholarship. Yes, of course. uh, but like that's again your discretion, that do you want to do that, and that's why it always helps to like at least have one safe option maybe. So like, okay, yeah, I still want to go, I still want to do this, but I know at this point I cannot afford this, but if you really want to, you have the other option you know
Yes, sir.
So the next question is how you made yourself how you made yourself financially stable during your college times and MS abroad.
um for me, I was doing that assistantship for some time that was like giving me some money, but I think most of my focus, because a lot of people that come to US are the ones that already have a lot of experience. They come like 3 years, 5 years into experience into doing things, and you still have to compete with them because a lot of classes would be like curved, like they would have relative grades. So my focus was more to be successful in like my academic. Like I had tougher time that probably other people would have to finish it. And there was a time like I took a lot of hard courses and then I didn't find anything, and on top of it I have my RA. So I was like, okay, yeah, you get a little bit of money to support yourself, but in the end you came for a greater cause and that's not being fulfilled. Then I decided, like, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like I'd rather like pay from my pocket right now and then you know have it planned, like have it paid back later. So yeah, like a lot of people do that. A lot of people would have for like part-time jobs. I tried it, that wasn't for me. So yeah.
The next question is I think we have already answered this one. How do you, as a student pursuing his master's, manage his general life in a quite not very familiar region?
Can you repeat that again?
How do you, as a student pursuing his master's, manage his general life in a quite not familiar region?
I don't know what that means, sorry. Can you rephrase it for me?
Can
He's
repeat.
saying like, how did you manage your life in not that familiar region like India?
Culture diversity, basically
Oh,
cultural
Yeah.
okay, okay.
diversity.
That's the question
Yes,
about cultural diversity. Like I would say, like I had some friends who were not Indians. You'll find most of the people's like being in their own group and like um, sorry, you'll find stuff like that. But I interacted with a lot of people. I had some international friends. So I used to, listen to their culture. They used to listen to mine, and just interacting a lot with them, I figured out, okay, this is how things are. Okay, like I learned a lot from them. I would have friends with me that even if I would be somewhere I shouldn't be, they'll be like, hey, just to let you know this, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, cool, thanks for letting me know. So definitely like that intercultural interaction really helps you, like really helps you just to open up in general. Because my first day here, I would say, um, things happened that, like, I was supposed to go to, like, my had a connecting flight from New York to Phoenix, but because of the storm my flight was cancelled. And my luggage was not with me. It was still in Germany in transit and stuff, like, and I got my next reservation for three days after. um those those kind of things, like, things could happen, and like if you have friends, if you have connections, that's going to help you. um you will learn up stuff, you'll pick up stuff. So yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Anything else, Surya?
No, I think that's all the questions.
They are all like, sir, you have already solved every query of their question and everything. So they are very, very satisfied with the podcast and everything. So
I'm happy.
there is nothing they should be asking for. Like,
I'm happy. And if you
exactly, sir.
if you want to learn more and more specifics of things, then you can try to follow my channel.
Exactly.
I'll be putting up stuff, but I'm getting through the whole process of editing, filmmaking, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted.
Definitely.
Okay.
So yeah.
I no, it's not from my side. I think it's from okay, Nikhil.
Okay. So Asta, anything else? Like we have covered a lot of time, 9:30 to
Yes, sir.
11 here. That
Actually, we're very fortunate that you just gave this much of time to us and answered all our queries very patiently. Listened to
exactly.
us, then gave us very satisfying answers. We are really happy that you helped us in every way, and we'll be
Yeah.
more delighted to have more such conversations in future.
And one
I'll
more thing,
be.
like I was just wanna add, we'll be releasing a Google form, sir. So in that particular form, we'll be recording the feedbacks and everything, like how the session had gone through. Shantanu, you can create a one and just mail to the participants whoever joined today, so that we just get all the reviews. That was a specific thing that sir wanted. Like he want like what are the loopholes and everything that need to be sorted. So we'll be sir definitely doing that.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. Nikhil, Suryash, you want to add something?
I think that's all from our side. Like we are really glad to hear from you. Like we are planning to give our GREs in a month or two, and like
Okay.
we have a lot to figure out.
Good
Like
luck.
And I think so, Suryash is
Thank
also hired as an intern for your live streaming and everything. Like,
I just want to
Thank you.
add, like, I've seen a lot of videos, but sir, like, he was very informative. Like, other people, they just cover the upper part, not from deep, but sir deeply explained everything.
they're more like
Thank you for that, sir.
bloggers. They act more like bloggers. Like they are
Yeah,
showing us
yeah.
showing
They
us a
just want to
view.
show how the enjoyable life in USA. But you
you.
explain
And I,
how it will be difficult and all the problems that you will be facing there. Thank you for that, sir.
that's a
Yeah.
perk of being an alumni, right, sir? Like,
Yep. Yep.
I
Awesome.
don't know, like,
I'm
how
glad
many
I
people,
was.
like, you said?
No, I'm saying that I'm glad that you guys, I was able to answer your guys' question. Um,
Yes, sir.
okay, yeah,
This might
I'm
change
glad everyone's
everyone's
happy.
life, like, yes.
Actually, this was quite transforming session and brainstorming. We really enjoyed talking to you.
So,
Thank you.
Vesa,
Exactly.
where is the link of your YouTube channel?
I have put
That's in
in
the
the comment section
description, I think.
and also in the
Okay, 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 okay.
Cool.
So we always subscribe to your channel.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me.
And I request
And
everyone, like, just to subscribe Sir's YouTube channel. So you can share your Instagram link also, like social media link, so
Yes,
that we
sir.
can
sure, sure,
encode that also. Like,
sure.
like
I'll
we
put
should
it
be
in
deeply
the
connected
chat and you
with our
guys can.
alumni.
Cool. One second. I'll make sure. Yeah. You can just put it in the comments or something.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you
Cool.
so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you,
See
sir.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
sir.
So, guys, this was our very first podcast series, which I hope you all might be loving that. And a big thank you to Suryaj for hosting it live, Nikhil Pandey for being with us, and Shantanu Saxena for managing all those stuff like meeting and everything, for scheduling. So a big thanks to JLUG JEC for hosting a event for our JECs to like get multiple advices and everything in such a perfect manner. Like
Like I was reading
everything
the
was covered.
live chat during the like whole event, and the comments were positive, and like, no negativity was there. They were
Exactly,
informative.
that's what the thing. Like we have experienced so many things like beforehand, like but in today's session everything was so perfect. Like we really
because
enjoyed that.
this because this session was out of the box, like nobody
Yeah,
expected
Yes.
this thing.
And
Everyone was like, okay, we'll be getting another Indian fellow and alumni, a government worker again. So it was out of box.
it was for those who, like
definitely.
a small section of our college wants to pursue MS. Not a small, like marginally, it's a lot. It's a lot. When you come to know about them, they are in hundreds or 150s, and they want to do MS, and but they are not well informed about this scenario. Like they don't they don't even expect that we have alumni in abroad. If we have, they are quite helping, and in the future they will help us.
Exactly. I think Lavish and Nishika were a bit late regarding the questions. I just saw the question after the session got
Lavish
ended.
to
I
asked, I think, na? Lavish
Yes,
asked already.
No,
he
he
has.
put another question over there,
Okay, okay. I asked his first question regarding
Okay.
which abroad country is best for MS.
like we
Like,
can answer
yeah,
like we can answer which abroad country is best for MS. Like
Yeah, it depends on your course,
yeah, it
what
depends
you
on
wanna pursue.
if you want to
it's
be
totally dependent on the
Ah,
niche which you are focusing on.
you're focusing on.
like Nishika Shishida. Like if you're from mechanical, you want to pursue automotive or like the robotic field, you can go to Germany. There's like sir, I think sir explained this.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
education is free,
everything was there.
but when you will be working, half your salary will go into tax for another students. That
Exactly. So that's a
That
good
we don't want.
point. Yeah. But being in US, like we will be like having much more experience. Diversification will be
Yeah,
a more
and
there.
more
Lavish,
experiencing and diversity.
I think he explained this question also. How is it like being so far from our home country and family? Like he explained that if you have friends there, you won't mind it. You will manage.
I'd
Yeah.
rather say friends with being a relation with a
More,
family.
Like I was
Friends, family.
my advice will be like motivate your friends like I motivated them.
I would
Yes,
like to add
exactly.
something. I would like to add something. That would be a little bit impromptu. I don't have friends. I have family. From Toronto. Yes. Okay.
And anything if you want to ask, like guys, if you have any personal question, Suya answer is everywhere, is available every time. Like if you text him
You
in
can
the
call him
midnight, yeah,
midnight.
you can you can even call him at the midnight. He's always available for his junior, and
And the
I'll be sure
juniors
like
who live and the juniors who live nearby him, you can go at midnight.
yeah, you can just ask for a party. Like
How?
sir, hosted us so some
Okay.
so good
Uh,
like session today. So like
Yeah.
you should be asking for a party. And Jabalpur, yes, you can go for it.
You can even visit like someone living in Sadar or there. You can visit him.
Civilians are not allowed in my canto. You know that, na?
And you'll manage.
I'll gi- I'll
You'll
give
manage
shoot
somehow.
an order. I'll give shoot an order if you'll come 100 meters near my canto. Okay.
Okay. That's not good. I think we should wrap up this session.
Yeah, like
Okay, like
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me check the stream for a minute.
it's 22
I
live at
didn't
the moment.
expect it to this productive, but too much.
And
Like
for
I
all
just woke up and the first sentence I heard in my,
and for
I
all
was
those,
like, oh, this is
okay,
too much.
let me just tell you, for all those who have missed this wonderful session, we will be uploading a video recording of this meet
Session.
on both the channels, Jeka Official and JLUG Jays.
JBJs.
Hmm. You can
Thank you
join
so
there.
much, guys, for staying there and being with us.
Exactly. Also, you can turn on
And
your camera, like there would be much more transparency.
Yeah.
it's better
Like people
as
want,
if
like,
it's
Yeah, we want to see you.
like because
It's not
and
awkward.
anyone living in Satna can just go for a party. Like my most is such a
Ah,
nice meet and a nice
ah.
session. Like you
Juniors
can
living in
definitely
Satna, contact Asta ma'am, please.
Juniors living in Bhopal, contact Aditi ma'am, Aditi Srivastava, and who said,
I'm having
They
some
already,
problem here.
definitely.
You're not
they do
audible.
actually.
okay.
There's some issue with the bandwidth. I can't hear you all.
And for for any midnight calls, Surya sir is
Hmm.
also available
Suryan
Ah,
sir is
anytime.
midnight call. Okay.
not midnight, anytime.
Anytime.
24/7.
I
Yeah.
think your sleeping schedule are more like messed up than me. My
Bro, I wake up 7 at 7 a.m. every day.
Exactly. That's what the thing is. Like you should be a
Yeah.
morning person.
Ah,
That's the road to success.
okay.
I don't am a morning person. I sleep at I don't know
He
4 a.m.
sleeps at morning. Like I wake up at 7 and he sleeps at 7.
like 5. I sleep at
So,
5.
so for the for the night part, that's why we are saying like sir is always
Ah,
available. Like you can go at any
Not
particular
available.
time.
Not
he's
available.